Myself, Ankita Tiwari, from LG Institute of Engineering and Technology, from ITS department. I am going to take a session from the subject Computer Vision. Subject code is 3171614. The module that we are going to cover is module number 6. Module name is Motion Representation. In that, we are going to do the topic that is feature-based techniques, regularization, and robust estimation. So basically, what is feature-based techniques? When we are talking about features, we have different criteria which we are considering for a particular feature in a particular object. So whenever we are talking about features, when features are defined in terms of local neighborhood operations, that is 8 connected or 4 connected, that is applied to an image, a procedure that is commonly referred to as feature extraction, we can say that one can distinguish between what is feature detection, that is approach. Also one can distinguish between the data, that is feature extraction. So both of the concept, feature detection and feature extraction, both are a different approach. So that produces local decisions whether there is a feature of a given type or at a particular given image or not. So basically we are talking about those who are not producing as non-binary data as a result. Basically, the distinction becomes relevant when the resulting detected features are relatively sparse. Although local decisions are made, the output from a feature detection step does not need to be a binary image. So whenever we talk about a binary image, it is comprising of 0 and 1 form. So every of the image, if you are talking about feature extraction and if you are talking about feature detection, both of them are technique which is based on feature. So basically feature-based techniques that we have particularly, it is based on the result that is often represented in terms of sets of that is connected or unconnected systems, that is coordinates of the same point. The image points are where the features have been detected, sometimes with sub-pixel accuracy. Now we'll talk about what is feature extraction. So whenever we are talking about feature extraction, it is done without using the local decision making. That is, the result is often referred to as a feature image. Consequently, we can say a feature image can be seen as an image in the sense that is, it is the function of the same spatial variables as the original image, but where the pixel values hold information about the image features instead of what the intensity, or we can say the color combination which we are using for a particular image, and that is what in terms of feature that we are extracting it. So this means that a feature image can be processed in a similar way as an ordinary image that is generated by an image sensor. So image sensor, we already studied about the image sensor, two types of sensor, CMOS and CCD. So based on the image sensor, the image which is being taken on a sensor plate, features that is images that are also being computed are integrated step in algorithms for feature detection. So here this is what the algorithm, the different how this feature based technique is being made. Okay, image 1 and image 2, how the correlation between the two of the images is done with respect to the multi-resolution decomposition, with respect to the fact that both of the images are extracted differently and the feature pixels that are extracted with respect to positions will be different. Then combining it means finding all the possible matching pairs which can be possible in order to combine it. Then eliminating the fake, that is matching pairs which is not being matching in the same parameter, and we are also defining the initial parameters that is defined by x and ry with respect to the two parameters x and y. Now one layer, that is recommendation, we can say reconstruction, and one layer of reconstruction, means both of the images will have different reconstruction layer which will be combined in order to define the matching. Whenever we have done the matching will be done with respect to the two of the layer which is formed with the two of the images, then merging into one case, one image parameter, and then defining it. So this is what feature based technique is with respect to this form. Now we are having different techniques for the feature. There are many computer vision algorithms that we can say that use feature detection. You've already seen this feature detection in the second chapter, okay, where the different segmentation segment detection algorithms were defined as the initial step, and as a result a very large number of feature detectors have been developed. Now these that we have talked about, the different, we can say the algorithms, these are varying, that is widely, in the kinds of the feature detection, the computational complexity and the repeatability. Okay, types that we have, the first type that we have with respect to edges. Now whenever we are bifurcating the two of the points, the two of the images of the same object, then the edges is the main first type that we are considering for a particular feature. So edges are the points where there is a boundary between the two of the image regions. Now, in general, an edge can be of at most almost arbitrary shape, and that may include junctions. So in practice, edges are usually defined as sets of points in the image that have a stronger gradient magnitude with respect to the different forms which we are combining it. Furthermore, some common algorithms will then chain up with high gradient points together to form a more complete description of an edge. Now, the second form that we have for a particular symbol is edge. These algorithms that is usually place some constraints on the properties of the edge with respect to what properties, like shape, smoothness, gradient value, all of the things. Means everything is considered in forms of edges. So edges have a one-dimensional structure. Now, with respect to that, we have another technique, that is corners, that is interest points. The terms corners and interest points are used wherever we want to somewhat like interchangeably use the two of the points and refer to point-like features like in an image. So, which will have a local two-dimensional structure. The name corner basically across, since early algorithms first performed edge detection with respect to the detection feature detection property, and then analyze the edges to find the rapid changes in the detection part, that is corners. So these algorithms were then developed so that the explicit edge detection was no longer required. And for instance, by looking for high levels of, that is curvature, in the image gradient, it was then noticed that the so-called corners that we are already being defined for a particular image were also being detected on parts of the image which were not corners in the traditional sense. For instance, we can say a small dark, bright spot on a dark background may be detected. Now, these points are frequently known as interest points, but the term corner is used by tradition. Now, the third technique that we have is blobs, that is regions, we can say, of interest points. So blobs provide a complementary description of the image structure that we have in terms of regions, as opposed to corners that are more point-like. So nevertheless, we can say that blob descriptors may often contain a preferred point, okay, which means that many blob, that is detectors, may also be regarded as interest points operators. So blob detectors can detect areas in an image which are too smooth to be detected by a corner detection method that we have. So considering the shrinkage in an image, like shrinking, and then performing corner detection with respect to that, this is an we can say it's a fact, or we can say an supposition. The detector will respond to the points which are sharp in the shrunk image, but then taking a smooth in the originality, or we can say the original image, that is formed the detections. Now it is at this point that the difference between a corner detection, or we can say a blob detector, becomes somewhat very transparent. So to a large extent, this distinction can be remedied by including an appropriate notion of scale. The fourth technique that we have is ridges. So for an elongated objects, we can say the notion of ridges is a natural tool with respect to their ridges. So a ridge descriptor computed from a grayscale image can be seen, or can be seen as a generalization of a medial axis, that is median axis. So from a practical viewpoint, we can say a ridge can be thought of as a one-dimensional curvature that represents an axis of symmetry, and in addition has an attribute of local ridge width associated with each ridge point. So we can say, unfortunately, however, it is algorithmically, we can say that harder to extract the ridge features from the general classes of gray level images, and also the edge, corner or blob features. So nevertheless, we can say that the ridge descriptors are frequently used for road extraction in aerial images and for extracting blood cell vessels in medical images. These are the two important applications of ridge detection where we are using it as a ridge property in feature-based techniques. Then we have the topic as the last topic of this chapter is robust estimation. The first step in describing robust estimation is to state more clearly what is meant by robustness. The first point that is come. So most commonly is the breakdown point, that is the minimum fraction of the outline data. What data? Outline data that can cause an estimate to diverge arbitrarily far from the true estimate. So for example, the breakdown point of at least that is squares is 0, because one bad point can be used to move the least squares that is fit arbitrarily far from the true fit. So the theoretical maximum breakdown point is 0.5, because when more than half the data are outliers, they can be arranged so that a fit through them will minimize the estimator objective function. So second measure of robustness is the influence function, which intuitively is the change in an estimate caused by insertion or outlying the data as a function of the distance of the data from the estimated point. So robustness with respect to how much robust the estimation is with respect to the breakdown point that we are taking it. Okay. So for example, the influence function of the least squares estimator is simply proportional to the distance of what? The point from the estimating point that we are taking it. So to achieve robustness, the influence function should tend to 0 with increasing distance. So finally, when we are talking about a measure of robustness, the efficiency of a robust estimator is also 0. So this is the ratio of the minimum possible variance in an estimate through the actual variance of an estimate that we are taking it into robust consideration with the minimum possible variance. So this is what the robust estimation is, and this is how our topic with respect to chapter is completed. Thank you.